What's up, everyone? Sorry about that. I actually ended up my phone alarm came on. I don't know why. I was trying to work out this Mac continually camera bit, and it didn't quite work. So I'm trying something different for my video today. I'm sorry I didn't do a video yesterday. It was just a really busy day with two presentations. One from Paramount Pictures, not Paramount Pictures. One from Disney, one from Universal. Then I did a show. I walked through the show floor, and I went to a party for Lionsgate. So yeah, I didn't have time to do a video. And by the time the night ended, I was tired. I didn't. I wasn't in the mood to do a video and try to fight figuring out how to get all my stuff uploaded. So this morning, I'm going to do a quick recap of Universal, and I'll do Disney later on today. I'm doing Universal first. I'm doing it in reverse order, switch it around, as they say in Waka, primarily due to the fact that Disney's presentation kind of sucked. It really did. It kind of sucked, but I also appreciated it because it was brief. It was like bam, 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 and they were out in like an hour, and there was no fluff. It was just right to the point. Here's the footage. Let's keep it moving. What they did for To Marvels and Guardians was criminal. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, it was just criminal, and a lot of the footage they showed, they had already shown. And this was my issue with the fact that they were releasing a bunch of trailers ahead of CinemaCon because then once you got into the room, there wasn't much to show. And Disney had that problem. We did see element. Well, now that I'm talking about Disney, I might as well just talk about Disney. But then that means I have to change all my titles and all that kind of stuff, and I don't feel like doing that. So anyway, my hair's a little messed up today. So anyway, let's get right into Universal's presentation. Universal's presentation was probably the best of the show so far. It was a great presentation. I'm not sure how many of these movies I'm actually interested in seeing on the big seeing, but it was a great presentation. It had your stars. You had a lot of new footage and some other great stuff. So this was what an old school CinemaCon presentation used to be like, which I didn't get this year. But the room was electric. It was great being in the room where it happens. The room where it happens. So, the Universal presentation kicked off with a brilliant sizzle reel. It kicked off with Steven Spielberg. So basically, it was Steven Spielberg talking about the power of being in the theater, the communal nature. I am so sick of that message. I get it. Movies, theater, see a movie on the big screen as it's meant to be. I get it, people. We're 3 days into this, and our fifth presentation. I don't need to have like 20 different people tell me how great the big screen is. I'm here at CinemaCon. Of course, I know how great it is to watch a movie on the big screen. I don't need you to keep telling me that over and over and over and over and over again. It was just, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of that stupid message. Tell it to me on Monday. We get the message. I don't need to hear that ever again. I don't need to hear that during every single presentation from every single studio set, because it's pandering at its worst, and it's pandering at its worst. And the simple fact is, we are your audience. We know this stuff already. Don't waste our time repeating the same stupid, pretentious crap. But anyway, the opening segment was brilliant because it was Steven Spielberg on the big screen doing a video presentation about how great it is to be a director, and he's a storyteller, and he wants all his stories to be on the big screen. And then it kind of cut into some of Spielberg's most famous movies like Jaws, and of course E.T. Phone Home, and other things. And it was really nice. And originally I thought, hey, this is a great tribute to Steven Spielberg. But it actually ended up being a whole scissor reel with with a whole bunch of different directors. So it's Spielberg, It was Jordan Peele. I think the Spider-Man guys were there. Lord and Taylor did something which was weird because it was a Universal presentation, but it was there. And then you had like Christopher Nolan, and so it was great. It really that's the one thing about CinemaCon. It always renews my faith in going to the theater, even though my local theaters suck. They could barely make popcorn, much less present a movie properly. That's one of the reasons why coming to CinemaCon is both life reaffirming in terms of reaffirming my love of the theatrical experience, but it also makes me hate it because I'm like, improve your product and people will come. It's great to say that, and I think I said that this in every video, but it's great to champion the movie theater. And yes, seeing a movie in a movie theater under the ideal conditions is the only way to see a movie. It really is. The problem is you don't get the perfect conditions that you get at CinemaCon at your local theaters. You just don't. You just don't get that that great of an experience at home and at home and not in the theater. So I think browbeating people into supporting your business, browbeating, guilt tripping your customers is just not the way to go. That's just me. I've been having arguments with people about this all week. But anyway, that opening sequence was really great. It was awesome. And I think the video quality on this is going to drop a little bit because I have to use FaceTime. I'm trying FaceTime because shooting stuff on my phone and my other video cameras and then rendering it and uploading it to YouTube takes a lot of time. So I'm trying this method for these two videos. So sorry if the quality drops a little bit, but it's going to allow me to get the last few videos out faster. So I'm rambling all over the place. So anyway, after that excellent opening to get you in the mood, to get you hyped, to get you excited, Donna Langley, the chairman of Filmed Entertainment Group for Universal Studios, came out, and it was great because Universal have a lot of women who actually no black women that I saw, but or black people, but they had a lot of females who run Universal Pictures. So that was actually pretty nice to see. Um, I had a joke, but I'm not. So she does another speech again, reiterating the power of movies in the theater. I get it. Shut up. Get to the trailers. So anyway, Christopher Nolan comes out to thunderous applause. Woo, Christopher Nolan. I know it's unpopular to say, but I, quiet as a cat, think Christopher Nolan is a little overrated. I do. I'm sorry. I'm just not a huge fan of Christopher Nolan. I don't think his are as great as everyone claims, but that's just me. But he came out, and the crowd was like just really into it, and basically he delivered the same message: movies. I make movies for the big screen. Big screen is great, and a story like Oppenheimer has to be told on the big screen. So it's about 10 minutes of that, and then he tells us about how great Oppenheimer is, and then we got a good 8 minute slice of Oppenheimer, and it's brilliant. Well, you see, this is what makes me a hypocrite. But I'm not a huge fan of Christopher Nolan, but I admit when something's brilliant, and Oppenheimer looks brilliant, especially in the CinemaCon Coliseum environment where you got the, and again, that's where the communal experience actually works because you have people there who really appreciate the environment, appreciate the opportunity to see this, and he had like the perfect screen, the environment, appreciate the opportunity to see this, and he had like the perfect screen, the perfect laser projector, and Dolby Vision Atmos properly calibrated, and it was Oppenheimer was brilliant. The sequence that we saw was a little scene Robert Downey Jr. sitting around a table with a bunch of scientists and Oppenheimer, and it's actually filmed. That sequence is filmed in black and white. And as Christopher Nolan said, some of the stuff is in black and white. However, and he jokingly said, "Don't worry, it's not a lot of it." So yeah, it's just them sitting around. is the power of storytelling, because it's just them sitting around a dinner table at a restaurant talking about how Russia is getting ahead of them in the nuclear race, and then they start talking about uh, how they're going to beat Russia and all this other stuff. Then it the next sequence is is Oppenheimer with Robert Downey Jr. telling him what they need, and that they can't take scientists away from their homes for extended period of time, so they won't get anyone. Uh, so, so, um, so, I'm blanking on his name. So Matt Damon, who plays a general and the head of the project, is like, okay, let's build them a city. And it was as simple as that. We're going to build them a city and have all the families come and live in this city until this job is done. So that was actually pretty cool. That was a pretty cool sequence. And I keep looking up here at my iPhone camera simply because that's where my iPhone is, and I was trying to get the continuity camera thing to work, and it's not quite working. So anyway, so yeah, so it was a great sequence. Then they spliced in the trailer that we already saw. Christopher Nolan said we're going to get a brand new full trailer in front of Guardians next week. He pretty much confirmed that without confirming it. It was kind of funny moment. So yeah, right now Universal's off to a flying start. It was amazing. And then after that, and here I need to zoom in on this so I can see my notes a little bit better. So let me zoom in. Can't zoom. It's not let me zoom. Oh, it's option. Sorry. Oh, sorry, people. I can't get my thing to zoom. I'm having a morning, people, and I'm not redoing this video. It is what it is. So after that great opening, Jim Orr, president of domestic theatrical distribution, came out, and I'm not going to continue to name all these executives because each of these presentations had about eight different executives come out, and I'm like, why? Can we don't need to hear you. Just give us the footage. So after that, Illuminations. They talked a little about the huge success of the Super Mario movie, how has earned over $900 million, and Illumination has been killed it last year with this and the Minions both scoring over $900 million in their theaters. And Puss in Boots made over $500 million. And then he brought out the president of Illumination Film. It's amazing because I remember being at CinemaCon when Illuminations first came onto the scene with Minions, or not Minions, Despicable Me. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Everyone's careers are like blooming, but mine. That's depressing. But anyway, I'm not even going to think about that. So Illumination President Chris Maloney came out and he introduced migration, and that was the only thing they showed was migration. I kept waiting for Jack Black to come out and sing Peaches. I went to hear him sing Peaches live, but nope. It was just Illumination talking about migration, which is the next animated feature. Is about a family of ducks who want to migrate who are trying to migrate wherever ducks migrate to. And the father of the duck family didn't want to migrate because he was happy in his little pond and where he was, where it was safe. And he was like, "Hey, why do we have to migrate? We're happy here." And his wife wanted to explore the world and all this other stuff. And so he was pressured into it. So they decided to migrate, and somehow they went off course and they ended up being like a major city. I think it was probably New York. So the rest of the footage showed the Dutch trying to migrate the hectic world of New York City, and they were going on all of these weird adventures, like when they were captured and they were about to become duck food and all this other stuff. So it was cute. I'm not excited for this. I'll see it when it comes to Peacock. I don't think I'm going to run out to the theater to see that one. Um, but it was a decent presentation that he did. And then after that, Will Ferrell came out, and he was really. You see, I love Will Ferrell in small doses. He's always great at events, and his trailers are always funny and they make me laugh. But every time I tried to watch a full Will Ferrell movie, I found it really boring. I don't know. I don't know. I love him and I love his comedy, but when I try to watch a full movie, it's painful for me. I don't know why. But Strays is looking really funny and cool. I'm just not a talking animals person. I don't like talking animals. But this does look funny. So basically, Will Ferrell came out with this co-star, the dog Sophie, an adorable dog, and he spent 10 minutes doing a bit where he was like pretending to be jealous of his co-star, and the cameraman kept focusing on the dog, and he kept saying, "Hey, look at me. We talked about this. The dog gets one shot and I get shot. We get equal billing. Don't keep focusing on the dog. Focus on me." And Will was talking about his credits, and he's like, "Hey, look at my credits. I was in Talladega Nights," and he goes down this list of IMDb credits, and he's like, "And Sophie was in nothing," basically. So it was really funny. It was really cute. And then we saw the trailer for um, Strays again. It was the same trailer that you see that's available online. However, they did cut in like two new sequences. One was of them like fighting a bunny and then having a funeral for the bunny, which was really funny. And I forget what this second sequence was, but the movie looks great. I just don't think it's for me simply because I don't like talking dog movies. I really don't. But it just I don't like talking animal movies. I really don't. I'll give it a chance. I'm just not convinced I'm going to sit in on the big screen or not. But yeah, it was a great presentation. It was funny, and it was just a great presentation. And after that, they did this real hard cut over the Blumhouse. And I was like, wow, that is a weird segue because they showed a quick clip of something. I forgot what it was because Blumhouse has so many things. And then the Blumhouse guys came out. They talked again about the power of community and seeing stuff in the theater. But then they talked about one of the things they said that I've been saying for years is that franchises have to start. That every popular franchise started with the original movie, and that is so true. And that's what drives me a little crazy sometimes is that people always claim they want to see new stuff, but they really don't. They just want to see the same old stuff. That's why we get all these sequels and franchises and everything else because people don't want to try anything new. And every single successful franchise started with an original idea. So to say Hollywood never does original ideas and everything's all sequels, that's just simply not true. If you went to your local newspaper, I'm dating myself, or if you went to Fandango and you looked at all the movies in your local theater, you're seeing like 20 of those movies, and this is like every single week. 20 of those movies are going to be something brand new and like smaller independent films, and then you have like two or three big sequels or franchise movies. But those are the movies that people focus on. They don't focus on the little movies over here. They just focus on the fact that, ooh, Guardians 3 is here, or ooh, Mario movie is here, and all this other stuff. But Guardians 3, when Guardians came out, it was a bunch of unknown characters. It was really it was Marvel taking a real chance. And because it was Marvel, people gave that movie a chance. And it blew up, and now you're on Guardians Part 3. That's how this works, people. So if you want Hollywood to do more original things, you got to actually support the original things that come out and don't just go, well, I don't know what this is. I'm not going to see it. Give things a try. And I know that's me being hypocritical after I said I don't like talking animal movies, but I always watch them. Or I don't always watch them, but I at least give it a try. But yeah, so Blumhouse talked about that, and then he basically confirmed, and then he showed a picture of four new movies that they did in the last year. And so basically, he all but said, we're going to get more Megan, we're going to get more Bad Santa, We're going to get more Black Phone. How they're going to do Black Phone again is beyond me because in and I like franchises as much as the next person, in sequels as much as the next person, but not everything needs a sequel or to be a franchise. Black Phone told a great story, a simple story, told it from A to Z or A to Z, and I don't feel like there's anything else I need to see from that franchise. In the way it wrapped up, it was a neat wrap. It all tied together in a nice bow. I don't see a need for a new Black Phone, but we're gonna get it. So we're gonna get another Megan, another Black Phone, another, but we're not gonna get another Ready or Not. Come on, Ready or Not was brilliant. I love that movie so much. Um, so we're not gonna get a sequel to that, but we're gonna get a sequel to the Black Phone. All right, all right. So yeah, I forgot what the fourth movie was. Because it went so fast. Uh I don't know. So then they talked a little bit about The Exorcist. So they're reviving The Exorcist and they're bringing back Ellen Bernstein to kind of connect it to the original Exorcist. So that's kind of interesting because she's the one who has experience dealing with this. So they debuted the first footage of The Exorcist. So it was pretty interesting because the key difference this time with The Exorcist is going to deal with two possessed people, and the two daughters look really creepy and yeah, they're doing exorcist stuff. One of them clearly possessed, storms into a church and says, "Bodies, body and blood, body and blood, body and blood, body and blood," and everyone in the church is like looking at her and like, "What is this person saying?" I always find it funny that people want to believe in God, but they don't want to believe in the devil. That's just me. I'm not a religious person, but I always find that a bit hypocritical. That they want to believe in God, but they don't want to believe in the devil or supernatural events. But yeah, it looked great. It was dark. It was creepy. Everything an Exorcist movie should be. But here's what turned me off. They said it's going to be a trilogy. Do we really need a trilogy of The Exorcist? I don't think so. But we're going to get one. And the name of this Exorcist movie is Exorcist the Believer. So yeah, that was really good. After that, DreamWorks, president of DreamWorks comes out. They talk about how Puss in Boots. I love that movie so much, and I actually had no interest in seeing it. But then I was like, I sat down and I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of wish I saw that one on the big screen. But I have a nice TV, so it was still brilliant for me, and I love Puss in Boots. So more Puss in Boots, Puss in Boots. I'm ready for that new Shrek movie, especially based on how Puss in Boots ended. I was like, oh my God, it's Shrek. Well, he didn't appear, but they were heading towards Shrek, man. So that was pretty awesome. So the movie earned over $500 million, and again, they talked about big screen. Thanks for your support, all that kind of stuff. And then they showed this Rudy Gillman's movie. It's Rudy Gillman, the teenage Kraken. I don't know. And it's a film about a teenager who finds out that she's a kraken, and her mother's trying to convince her to follow in the family footsteps, but she wants, of course, as all these teen animated films do, she wants to actually help people and all this other stuff. There was a funny line about a mermaid where they said, and you could, and so a mermaid is going to be a bad guy, and I was just confused by this trailer because she finds out she's like a queen or something of the people. She doesn't want to be queen of the people, but she's going to regular people's schools, and people aren't supposed to notice that you know she's blue. I don't know. It just looked weird, and off kilter, and the character design was weird and then a little off putting. So I'm not sure about that one. I think I would probably like it once I saw it. I think I would probably like this movie once I saw it. So I'll give it a try. I just don't know if I'm going to see that one in the big screener. on the big screen. I may wait for streaming. It depends on what else is out at that moment. One of the great things about AMC is I love AMC A list because a lot of movies that I wouldn't have paid money to see, I would see because I have AMC A list. So I'll go just because of that. But a lot of times it's just because of how bad my local theater is that I don't see more movies on the big screen. Although I will say I've been seeing at least two movies every week for the last at AMC for the last 6 months because there's been a lot of great stuff. And I think my local AMC at least got the presentation side under control because now the Dolby Vision screen is clean and crisp. Um, I think they changed. They must have changed their projector because it just looks a lot sharper than it used to. Um, and the seats have been redone a little bit, um, so they're not as dirty as they used to be. And most importantly, they got rid of doing letterboxing because that was one of the things that was driving me nuts. Was the last couple of years they were doing letterboxing all the movies, and this is everywhere. This was in when I was in DC, when I was in Orlando, and when I was in Jacksonville, where every movie I saw was letterbox. And I'm like, wait, I'm paying all this. I'm not paying all this money to see black bars. No, I get that enough not nonsense that's at home. I go to the theater to see stuff in its proper big widescreen format. That was the main reason why I stopped going to the theater was because of that. But in the last 6 months, I haven't encountered that issue once. So I think AMC finally got that message. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Good on you, AMC. So so yeah, we got the Teenage Kraken. Then after that, Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake came out. Woo! Although, while I like Justin Timberlake, I am still a Justice for Janet person, so I will always hate Justin Timberlake for how he handled that entire situation. I will always hate the fact that Janet was the one who got royally effed when he's the one who ripped the thing off, and he came out of that entire situation smelling like roses, and his career completely took off. All because he stepped all over Janet Jackson and effed her, royally effed her over. And the double standard still tips me off to this very day. And I will never forgive nor support anything Justin Timberlake does. Even though he seems like he's a great guy in person, and all great guy in person. He was really funny up on stage, and his chemistry with Anna Kendrick was great. Anna was really hysterically funny, and Justin's deadpan humor just really and dry humor really were actually. He's basically doing exactly what Ryan Gosling did during the Barbie presentation, where basically the woman was the funny one, and they just played the straight guy, um, which is probably the easiest way to get a joke, I guess. um, but yeah, it was a good presentation. I'm still not interested in the trolls. I still don't give a crap about the trolls, but the presentation was great. I'm going to give it to them. But yeah, I just don't like Justin Timberlake because of the whole Janet thing. Even though he seems like a perfectly like fun person to want to hang around with and seems like a perfectly nice guy, I just don't like what happened with Janet Jackson. That's just me. I should let it go, but I can't. I can't let it go. So anyway, Kung Fu, and then after that, Jack Black came out for Kung Fu Panda 4, and again I kept thinking he's gonna do peaches. He's gonna do peaches. Peaches, 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 and nope, no peaches. He talked about Kung Fu Panda for about 5 minutes, described what Kung Fu Panda 4 was going to be. And sometimes I find that joke Jack Black tries way too hard, and it kind of seems a little phony and fake to me. But you can't go wrong with Jack Black. Jack Black is just seems like he would be really cool and fun to hang out with. Of course, the one time got to talk to him, he was half asleep and obviously high. But but that's a story for another time. But yeah, it was great, and he did this funny bit where they were like, and since we're at CinemaCon, we're going to show you the brand new trailer for Kung Fu Panda, and he's like, and the guy came out and whispered, told him, "Well, we don't have any footage. We don't have any footage." And then Jack Black is like, "I am a thespian, and I will reenact I'm going to tell you, I'm going to reenact the entire movie for you right now." So he spends another 5 minutes just reenacting Kung Fu Panda 4 and giving the entire pitch. It was great. It was funny. I never actually watched the Kung Fu Panda